Hello again, and we are with episode 12. And today we're going to talk about a feature that has been a bit of like a love-hate relationship of mine. This feature, and that is the AI chat. And especially the new AI chat, because this week we deployed a new version of that. But why is it a love-hate feature for me is, in the beginning, I was really worried that the more we talk about the AI chat, the more people get confused about, hey, this is just a chat with your documents type of thing. Because there was a lot of, and there still is a lot of tools where you paint all your documents, you drag them to some database, and then it's like, wow, now you can chat with your documents. You even get like a podcast out of your documents, and you're analyzing your documents, and somehow some people got confused that, is this what Skimle does? Is it like this very thin wrapper on top of documents that every time you ask a question, it will just go to the source documents and find them? And we're like, no, this is not what we're doing. We're actually analyzing the documents, which is you take the insights, you categorize them, and all of that. So kind of that chat was a big box, and I pushed it to be a little box there, and then a little hidden box, and we never really talked about it because it is a feature. From the beginning, it was a very different way of doing chat to start with, but now we've spent quite a bit of time to make it actually a really powerful tool. So now maybe it gets a bit more space in the screen and the marketing as well. We now really want to talk about the AI chat and the new Agentic AI chat.
So we spent so much time creating the previous version of the chat, right? And back in the days when we launched in August, it was like super cool, I thought. It was using these insights and the analysis we had conducted. But progressively, I think all the other chats have gotten better and better in a way that it wasn't anymore better than the other chats. And in some ways, it was even like maybe worse than some of the other chats. So I think there's like a specific thing that you do with the chatting and other things you do with the other analysis in Skimle.
Yeah.
The Skimle's strength is really comparing themes that occur across documents and then explaining maybe why some documents bring up some themes, some bring other themes, what are the exact, like the whole range of themes on this particular like topic. So what are the subtopics?
Yeah.
And that you can do with any of the chat, and chatting is really not useful for that, right? Because with chatting, you have a question you want to ask, and you need to know what to ask, right? The broader the question, the worse the answer. But we also found that a lot of our users then, when they have a good understanding of the data set, they use the chat to get the data, to surface the examples, right? And that's why we really had to put some real effort into improving the chat.
And I think this goes together with the broader, like, the shift from generative AI into agentic AI, or this back a year ago, still the AI was that you ask a question and then it will answer. Maybe it searches the web and then it answers. It's kind of really like a chat. Now, of course, if you look at we often compare ourselves to Anthropic, which one is better and bigger. But like, if you look at Anthropic, the Claude team, like the way people use their chat is like, I would guess that like 90% of the tokens are used in this kind of agentic chat where you are giving it a task, it's responding with something, it's like this kind of Claude Code or co-work or kind of other ways where you really kind of, or Claude for Excel, that you are interacting with it, but you're actually doing something to a document or a set of codes and so on. And that's kind of the new version of chat, which is also I don't know if they were inspired by us or we were inspired by them. You never know, but they're kind of now the development in the AI.
Yeah, so
they copied our idea from the future.
Okay, you lost me there. But the key point here is that we developed this agentic chat that has what I call tools. So like is able to query your data from multiple perspectives. So you can ask things like what do interviews by women say about this thing, and the chat knows that this is the way I find what is the subset of interviews by women. This is how I find all the insights from these interviews about this topic and so forth. And and it's become much more powerful. So you have certain insights, and you can ask like, okay, look at the context where this is discussed. Like, is this really about that topic, or is it like this topic, or what's the context in which they bring up these things? And the chat is now able to really kind of be your assistant in a way that it executes a number of different subtasks to answer you.
Yeah, including very shortly editing your data, right?
So that is super, super cool. And that's what we've been working on. It kind of works, but it's a bit buggy, so we didn't launch it yet. But it will be able to write notes. It will be able to tag things for you. It will be able to create new insights from the raw data, and also like move things from one category to another or merge categories. So you can imagine you see the data in the Skimle interface, and then you just chat, okay, find all the things that discuss, commute, and mark them with the new tag, commute, make the tag brown. And it will create a brown tag. It will find all the insights that relate to commuting, and then it will tag them with that tag.
Yeah, and merge category, and create, and at some point, and so it really becomes then like the smart research assistant. Like now we have the smart research assistant in the initial step, that it reads through all of the passages and kind of creates the codes and the big buckets. It splits into more. Like it does that in the beginning. It does that with the metadata we discussed in the previous episode around looking at how do these different piles differ by any metadata variable. But now you can actually give it instructions yourself. Do that, and after that, let's bring out the marker pen and start tagging me, and that really opens a new set of features for how you manipulate that rich database you have. And again, this whole thing is only possible because you have done the analysis of the data. You have a database structured by themes and documents and so on. You're not working just with the original data. Anyway.
Yeah, and that kind of also then for business users, it can help move a bit from this kind of analyzing to also actioning things. So like one trial I did with this agentic chat is I told that, okay, here are the customer complaints. Go through each of the categories and write a note in the category containing like a suggested action point. And some of them are, of course, insane or like very generic. It doesn't know which organization you work, and it doesn't have necessarily the context.
It's a bit vanilla.
It's a bit vanilla, but you can see like where this is going to go, and you can start kind of course, then you can edit the notes yourself or take them, export them.
And I think this whole thing of how do you then link that to the full context? Like I think Skimle will play a big role in helping to create the organizational knowledge in a way that you could feed all the transcripts, all the interviews, all the procedure guides and emails, and kind of then based on that create, how do we do customer onboarding, for example, like find everything related to that and do the subcategories and so on. So when you have that, how does customer onboarding work? Then you have the customer ticket and you realize it links to onboarding. That's when I think and which I think is a good link to the MCP.
So we've been designing this with the idea that the agentic chat will use our information system both ways. There's like actually there are 4 things we have created this kind of access rights thing. So the Skimle read interface, so you can read data. There's a write interface where you can like add notes and edit the labels and so forth. And then there's upload, which is adding new data, and analysis, which is running our Skimle analysis. And we envision that these will be available to any AI agent through this, what is called MCP. It's Model Context Protocol. So already we have done internal things where we open the Skimle data to Claude. So Claude can read.
Our sister company, Claude.
So like we You can kind of have whichever AI models you want accessing the data. And the real beauty is that we enforce this accuracy of quotes and the connection of insights to the quotes and the documents, and you can look at them visually in the Skimle user interface. So you can have any AI agent that, you know, has some other contextual information. Let's say there's some event, like some problem with the customer, there's a crisis.
Or it has access to tools
And
further.
yeah.
to send
And
messages
then they
something.
can go, like, they can look at the history of conversations that's stored in Skimle and create insights and categories in Skimle. And Skimle makes sure that none of the quotes are hallucinated. They are always connected to exact positions in the text. And then when you go to the user interface, you can see, okay, these were the things that Claude picked up, and you can see, you can kind of navigate to the documents where they came from. So we are really believing that there's this kind of new type of document repository, which is not just containing the documents, but it's also a place where all the AI agents can kind of write information and notes and access those. And
Exactly. So the value of Skimle becomes, in a way, three things. So number one, it is a kind of not the system of record of the individual kind of documents necessarily, but the system of record for that qualitative understanding of those documents. Like that's where you store the database. Because, you know, the different agents need to be able to access not just the documents, but this understanding of that, those documents. So that's number one. Number two, it's a way for humans and agents to work together because it's a human understandable form. It's not some big, you know, dumped vector database. It's actually a table you can browse. And you still want to kind of, as a human, verify what is in there, go to the sources and so on. And then third, it provides these kind of, it enforces the logic of transparency, no hallucination, but also provides ways of manipulating that data in a systematic way, in a way, like doing the metadata analysis we talked about, doing the initial analysis. It's kind of, it's a set of like consistent, deterministic to a degree operations as well, which is important. So I think it's really going to play nicely in that agent ecosystem. And we're really looking forward to that. And now how fast is that? Like I think for the next, you know, coming years, it's still probably 90% of the users will be human users who are using it to kind of do the analysis, just like today, write the academic paper and so on. But more and more, there will be this like, let's plug this into our agentic workflow once the rest of the organization is going there. So we want to be ready for that era, like again, head of the other players, like we are.
And of course, then that kind of it requires some maturity from the organizations, because as soon as you start opening all this data to the agents, right? We don't know what kind of agents you will run, and all those agents can access all your data in our system. So that requires a certain cybersecurity awareness and maturity. So
and also kind of enforcing something on our systems as well. And I think we need to kind of really discover that can an agent do stuff, and probably the access control has to be a partly in our systems as well. That, you know, or kind of different user rights that this agent can read. They
exactly.
don't. This one can write, and maybe only the humans can add new people, for example.
And at the moment, how we are planning to launch, and this should be launching in a few weeks' time, I think, is that you create your own API key for each individual project. Yeah. And you can choose read and write access at the moment, so no uploading yet. Or we can think about that, but and the keys always expire in 30 days, so you need to renew. So we're trying to limit this, that you don't forget that there's some agent somewhere that can access all your interview data, and then that and also
and that
like,
agent will send it to the Molt book or whatever.
Exactly. I mean, the scenarios are really crazy that somebody can inject like wrong behaviors in these agents.
Yeah, so it's like a wild west at the moment. We want to be the sheriff's office, right? We maintain order in our
and our organizational customers. We won't enable this functionality unless you ask. So there's no like. Nobody told us that our employees can create these security holes in the system, and leak all the data to the Molt book. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a powerful tool. It's same for everything. It's a very powerful tool, but you need to have the safe tools, not just any random tool. And
safety first is one of our
exactly, and that's where the anonymization features will come in handy as well, and really thinking the architecture. But we're excited about MCP and APIs and that kind of agentic chat and so on. So test out the new chat. We have the version 1 of the smart chat now out there, and very quickly we're going to add a bunch of features around editing and manipulating the data as well, as soon as we can trust it to do it safely and in production as well. And then if you're a developer, if you're building something, you're really you're an organization that really wants to kind of unleash the agents and go to this maturity level of really integrating them to the work and build the context database. And so let's talk, because I think we've been looking at the kind of the qualitative, I wouldn't say theoretical, but the really kind of advanced stuff around this for quite a while. Because I think the easy stuff is around, programming agents and all of that. It's really like, how do you maintain that?
And we have actually already been in talks with some academic software providers that the idea is that you will have your writing agent in your word processor, and then you could ask like, okay, pick some quotes from this category here, and then like that. We could imagine that happening with Copilot in PowerPoint, that you connect your Copilot to Skimle and you're doing slides and you say, okay, here, find me some customer quotes about this topic, and the agent will go to Skimle and pick the best quotes and put them in the PowerPoint.
And we enforce that they're kind of real quotes and not
exactly,
opportunistic quotes that a customer could have said to support your point. I think
exactly.
But that's MCP and AI chat. Any funny jokes to the end?
No, this is it.
This is it.
Hey, thanks for listening, and
see you next time.
See you, and I hope the chat is working. If you have some issues or it doesn't do one task you have in mind that we didn't think of, just let us know and we'll fix it.
Exactly. Happy skimling.